Hello everyone, this is Lata Akula. In this video, we are going to study about transverse section of dicot leaf. So up to now, we have completed the root and stem. Now we will see about the transverse sections of the monocot and dicot leaf. And in this video, we are going to finish the transverse section of the dicot leaf. If we see the transverse section of the dicot leaf, it was mainly divided into three main parts. They were epidermis, mesophyll and vascular system. Epidermis, mesophyll, this is the epidermis, this is the mesophyll and vascular tissue. Like that it was categorized. The first one is epidermis. The epidermis is again two types. One is upper epidermis and second one is upper epidermis and lower epidermis. We see the leaf, it consists of upper and lower surfaces, right? Dorsal and ventral surfaces. So the upper epidermis is also called as adaxial epidermis and the lower epidermis is also called as abaxial epidermis. So what is another name for this? The upper epidermis is also called as adaxial epidermis and the lower epidermis is also called as abaxial epidermis. If you see the upper epidermis, it is an outermost layer which is cutinized. Cutinized means covered by a waxy coating called as cuticle. And then if this adaxial epidermis, it is made up of a single layer of parenchymatous cells. What type of cells were present? A single layer of parenchymatous cells were present in the upper part of the epidermis or adaxial epidermis. And in this, there is no chloroplast. In the epidermal tissue, there was no chloroplast and they consist of very less number of stomata, or sometimes the stomata may be absent also in the upper portions of the epidermis. In the dicots, mainly in the dicots, the upper part of the epidermis, there is no chloroplast, there is no stomata. And then lower epidermis. Here, if you see the lower epidermis, this lower epidermis was also called as abaxial epidermis. It is also similar to the upper part of the epidermis, and here also it is a single layer like the upper one, and it is also cutinized, consists of cuticle, and here it do not have chloroplast, but it consists of stomatal openings. What are present here? The lower part of the epidermis, they consist of stomatal openings. Below this stomatal opening, there is a substomatal cavity was present. Here, the chloroplast was absent in the cells of the epidermis, but the stomata containing the guard cells, right? These two are the guard cells of the stomata. That consists of the chloroplast. That only consists of the chloroplast. And next one is mesophyll tissue. So with this epidermis is over, the next one is mesophyll tissue. This mesophyll tissue is nothing but the tissue which is present between the upper and lower part of the epidermis, that is the ground tissue present between the upper and lower part of the epidermis is called as mesophyll tissue only. The ground tissue of the leaf is called as mesophyll, right? That is what we are going to discuss about. And here, this mesophyll tissue, it consists of upper and this tissue is present between the upper and lower epidermis, was again divided into two types. Upper part is called as palisade parenchyma and below this there is spongy parenchyma was present. The parenchymatous tissue, the mesophyll tissue which is present below the upper part of the epidermis is called as palisade parenchyma, and the mesophyll tissue which is present below the lower part of the epidermis is called as spongy parenchyma. This is the spongy parenchyma and this is the palisade parenchyma. If you see the palisade parenchyma, this parenchyma, it is arranged one or two layered. How many layered it is? It is one or two layered. The cells are parallelly arranged. How these are arranged? The cells of this palisade parenchyma, they were arranged parallel to one another and they consist of a number of chloroplasts. Inside this palisade parenchymatous tissue, a number of chloroplasts were present, and between these cells there is very less intercellular spaces, or sometimes these intercellular spaces may be absent also. And because of the presence of a large number of chloroplasts, these are the active, these parasite parenchyma that actively participate in the photosynthesis. This is about the palisade parenchyma. And below this palisade parenchyma, there is another mesophyll tissue is present, which is called as spongy parenchyma. Here, the spongy parenchyma, they consist of oval or irregular shaped cells. Here, there are parallel arranged cells, but here it is oval shaped or irregularly arranged, and these cells have a large intercellular spaces. They consist of large intercellular spaces. They also consist of chloroplasts in them. They consist of very large intercellular spaces, and air cavities were also present. See, these are the air cavities. So because of the presence of large intercellular spaces and the presence of these air cavities, the tissue were very loosely arranged. Hence, it is called as spongy parenchyma. Hence, it is called as spongy parenchyma. And here also the chloroplasts were present, hence they participate in the photosynthesis. So with this we have completed epidermis and the mesophyll. The next video we are going to study about the vascular system, that is about the xylem and phloem. So we have completed epidermis, mesophyll. The next part of the transfer section of the dicot leaf is the vascular bundles, vascular system. This vascular system consists of vascular bundles, which consists of xylem and phloem. And if you see these vascular bundles, they have been scattered in the spongy parenchyma. Where they are present? In the spongy parenchyma, these vascular bundles are present, not in the palisade parenchyma. And if you see this, in the dicot leaf, what type of venation was present? Reticulate type of venation was present. That means the veins, they have been arranged in a network-like structure, that is called as reticulate venation. And the size of these vascular bundles, they were mainly present in the veins and midrib. In which regions they are present? In the veins, and inside the leaf there are veins are present, right? So within the veins and the midrib region, means the prominent vein which is present at the center of the leaf is called as midrib. So in the veins and midrib region only these vascular bundles have been found. And in the dicot leaf, what type of venation was seen? Reticulate type of venation was seen. That means they consist of a large number of veins were present, which have been arranged in a network-like fashion. And the size of these vascular bundles varies according to depending on the thickness of the veins. For example, if the thick veins are present, they consist of larger sized vascular bundles. If the thin veins are present, they consist of small sized vascular bundles. And between the xylem and phloem, cambium was absent. What is the function of the cambium? That helps in the secondary growth of the xylem and phloem. But this cambium was absent in between the xylem and phloem, and they are conjoined type of vascular bundles. That means they have been arranged in the same radius, and closed type of vascular bundles without having any cambium, that is called as closed type of vascular bundles. And these vascular bundles, they have been enclosed in a thick walled structure which is called as a bundle sheath. Within the bundle sheath, the phloem and xylem have been enclosed, which are not having any cambium. With this, we have completed the vascular system, and the transfer section of the dicot leaf is over. In the next video, we are going to study about transfer section of the monocot leaf. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, Lata Akula Biology Tutorial. Please keep watching.